Have you ever felt like you were pouring your heart and soul into something but nobody seems to care? You show up every single day, you do your best to help the people around you, and yet instead of a simple thank you, you get ignored. Or worse, you get treated like a nuisance. It hurts, doesn't it? It makes you question your own value. You start wondering if you should just stop trying. Well, if you're feeling this way, you are not alone. Today, I'm going to share 3 short stories with you. These aren't just stories, they're mirrors for our own lives. They will teach you the most important lesson you might ever learn: how to stop knocking on doors that will never open, and how to walk away to find your own peace. Let's start at a small farm nestled in a valley. This farm had a rooster named Nizlo. Now, Nizlo wasn't just any bird. He was proud, energetic, and he took his job very seriously. Every single morning, long before the sun even thought about peeking over the hills, Nizlo was awake. He would fly up to his favorite post on the fence, puff out his chest, and let out a loud, powerful crow. He was like a living alarm clock. His voice signaled the start of a new day. He woke the farmers up so they wouldn't miss the morning hours. He was saving them from their own laziness, ensuring the farm ran smoothly. In his mind, he was doing a great service. He was being helpful. But here's the sad part. What did he get in return? Did the farmers thank him? Did they appreciate that he woke them up on time? No, quite the opposite. They hated the noise. They would wake up grumpy, rubbing their eyes, and scream at him to be quiet. Sometimes they would even throw stones at the fence just to scare him off. They called him annoying. They said he was ruining their sleep. Day after day, Nizlo took this abuse. He just wanted to help, but he was met with anger. One cloudy morning, after a farmer threw a particularly large stone near him, Nizlo looked at the horizon. He felt a deep tiredness in his bones, not from waking up early, but from trying to prove his worth to people who didn't want it. He realized that trying to prove yourself over and over again to the wrong people is foolish. So he made a choice. He didn't fight, he didn't scream back. He just took a deep breath, crowed one last time to say goodbye to the life he knew, and flew away into the forest. He left to find a place where he would be respected. That night, a heavy silence fell over the farm. It was too quiet. The next morning, the sun came up, but there was no sound. The farmers slept in, but it wasn't just sleep that happened. Because the farm was silent, thieves who had been watching from the shadows realized the guardian was gone. They crept in during the dark. They stole the sheep, the cows, and the tools. When the farmers finally woke up, long past sunrise, the farm was empty. Only then, standing in the middle of their ruined land, did they realize the truth. Nizlo wasn't just a noise, he was their protector, but it was too late. This brings us to a hard truth about life. Sometimes silence is the best answer to disrespect. You don't need to argue, you just need to remove your presence to show them what they lost. Now let's move to the banks of a wide, rushing river. Here lived a turtle named Amara. Amara was kind, strong, and had a heart of gold. But he had a friend named Tico, a frog who was, well, let's just say Tico was a bit lazy. Tico was terrified of the deep water. He never learned to swim properly, so every day Tico would hop onto Amara's shell. "Take me across, buddy," he would say. And Amara, being the good friend he was, would carry him. He fought the strong currents, he slipped on slime-covered rocks, and he balanced the heavy weight of the frog on his back. For years this went on, and for years Tico never said thank you, not once. As soon as they reached the other side, Tico would just hop off and run away to play, never looking back to see Amara panting for breath. Amara felt used, but he kept doing it because he thought that's what friends do. Then a terrible drought came. The rain stopped, the river dried up, and for the first time, big stones poked out of the water, creating a natural bridge. Tico looked at the stones and realized, hey, I don't need the turtle today. Without saying a word to Amara, Tico hopped from stone to stone, crossing the river all by himself. He laughed and danced on the other side, shouting, "I'm free! I don't need to wait for that slow turtle anymore."
Amara stood alone on the dry riverbank. His heart broke. It wasn't because Tico crossed alone. It was because he realized Tico never cared about him. He only cared about the free ride. That evening, a wise old heron landed next to the sad turtle. The heron said, "Amara, You are strong enough to cross any river, but you must decide who deserves to ride on your back. Not every burden is yours to carry." A tear rolled down Amara's cheek. He realized he had to forgive himself for letting someone treat him poorly for so long. He decided right then and there, no more free rides. A few weeks later, the heavy rains returned. The river swelled up, wild and dangerous again. The stones disappeared under the water. Tico the frog came back, shivering in fear. He looked at Amara, expecting the usual ride, but this time, Amara didn't stop. He looked Tico in the eye and swam into the water alone. He left the frog on the bank. Amara learned a lesson we all need to learn. The art of letting go is sometimes the only way to save yourself from drowning.
Finally, I want to tell you about Nico. Nico was a black stray cat, thin and scarred from living on the streets. He had a tough life, fighting for scraps in the alleys. But every morning, Nico would go to the same place, a beautiful big house with a fancy wooden door. There was a small clay bowl sitting by the doorstep. It was always empty, but Nico would sit there, staring at the door, waiting. He thought, maybe today they will put some milk in it. Maybe today they will let me in. He could see a woman inside through the window. She saw him too, but she never opened the door. She never gave him food. She never even smiled at him. Yet Nico kept going back. He sat in the rain, he sat in the snow. He was freezing, his paws were numb, but he wouldn't leave. He was stuck waiting for kindness from someone who had none to give. One freezing winter morning, a golden cat walked by. He saw Nico shivering in front of the closed door. The golden cat stopped and asked, "Why do you sit here? Don't you know this door will never open for you?" Nico looked down, ashamed. "I have nowhere else to go," he whispered. The golden cat shook his head. "You were not born to wait. You were not born to beg for love. You were born to find your own happiness." Those words hit Nico like a lightning bolt. He looked at the closed door one last time. He realized he was wasting his life waiting for a miracle that would never happen. He stood up, shook the snow off his fur, and turned around. He walked away from the big house and into the unknown. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew he would never beg again. He felt a strange warmth in his chest. It wasn't from a fire. It was the warmth of self-respect.
My friends, these three stories, Nizlo the rooster, Amara the turtle, and Nico the cat, tell us the same truth. Many of us are like them. We try to wake up people who want to sleep. We carry people who only use us. We wait at doors that are locked tight. But you have to understand something. Self-worth isn't about what others give you. It's about what you give yourself. If you are exhausted from trying to please everyone, maybe it's time to stop. Use your emotional intelligence to see the truth. Letting go of toxic relationships is painful, but it is the path to inner peace. Just like the turtle and the rooster, you need to apply this Buddhist wisdom to your own life. This isn't just a motivational video. This is a life-changing story for anyone who feels stuck. Stop knocking on the door. Turn around. Start finding happiness on your own terms. Respect yourself enough to walk away. If these stories touched your heart, or if you saw a piece of yourself in them, please hit that like button. It helps more people find this message. And don't forget to subscribe so we can learn and grow together. Remember, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next story.